Oh my goodness. Hey everyone, how's it going? So today we're going to be listening to and dissecting an album that has been highly requested since I started doing videos like these. For those of you that are new here, my name is Jacob Williams. I am a professional music producer and composer. We're going to check out FKA TWIGS, Eusexua. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into this. You guys have really talked it up. You said it's got crazy production. The songwriting is top notch. We're going to be the judge of that today. Before we dive into this masterpiece, I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons. They are the ones that actively support this channel and give me some extra power to give you guys better content and to put more energy into what we do here. Also, just thank you guys for being here. This has been a lot of fun. And as a quick reminder, by the time this video is posted, there will be a new poll for you guys to check out. Go ahead and voice your opinion on what you want to see next on this channel. Whatever doesn't win the votes in that poll will be posted up on Patreon as a temporary exclusive for about 1 to 2 months, and then we'll let the floodgates open and everyone else can watch it. So if you want to see it early and you want double the content, double the content and double the time, go ahead and click the link in the description. As for this album, let's dive in. We're just going to go straight into it. Track 1, it is the title track of the album. It also looks like it has the most amount of streams out of the entire collection here. So is it the single? I have no idea. You guys will be the ones educating me on that. Let's jump right in. Okay.
Wonder how you feel. Wonder how you feel. Words cannot describe, baby, this feeling deep inside.
Nobody told me that Twigs had a good voice. I was just told that this album was cool and that they're a great artist. I was not told that Twigs had a good singing voice. So we have some falsetto vocals sort of soaring over this like rising beat, sort of just coming up out of nowhere. It almost kind of reminds me of those like older sort of trance techno, like industrial beats where the kick was very low in the mix and a bit muddy sounding, obviously on purpose, but it's like a bit of a like muddier, more boxy sound.
King size time, vertical sunrise, butterfly capsized, free.
So far, this song is like a really big like explosion waiting to happen. Like right now we're in like the calm before the storm. At least that's how it feels. Right now this song, it sounds like it's in a minor key. There's a minor chord progression happening there. And it's shifting down into, it sounds like diminished or augmented chords. But very briefly, it's mostly minor chords. It's mostly just the minor 1 and then the minor 4, minor 5. Interesting choices because normally we go from minor to major. This is all minor. This is all doom and gloom. We got some banshee vocals in the background there.
And if they ask you, say you feel it, but don't call it love. Eusexua.
So one thing you guys might have not noticed is right there leading into this next part of the buildup, there were some more background vocals kind of coming into the fold. So it sounded mostly like one vocal at first. Now we're having other vocals sort of come in and take up all the stereo space. Aside from that wailing little like banshee vocal in the background sounds like it's more of a sample than an actual voice recording. So it sounds like it was probably recorded by Twigs, but then it was hit on like a pad or played rhythmically in the production bed. Melancholic because we're in the minor key, but it feels very dark so far. Not what I expected. I expected actually a brighter tone to start off this album. Ooh, I like that string.
Wonder if you see
wow.
the way
I'm trying to really analyze that sound in the background right there. It sounds like something that is referred to as a drone. So what drones are is they're usually played on a synth. They're usually a synth pad, and they're usually played for a very long period of time. And it feels like that sound is sort of evolving with the kick, like they're pushing and pulling with each other using like sidechain compression or something, and they're fighting for stereo space on purpose. Like it's supposed to represent some sort of evolving pulsing kind of sound here. We got formant filter.
can change the course of time.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay. What album was it where we were talking about formant? It was pretty recent. I remember we were talking about formants. Where was that? Oh yeah, that was the Taylor dissection. Yeah, we were talking about formants and how cool they are and how they kind of add some sort of like soulful quality to the vocals. There's definitely a lot of formant shifting happening on this new line of vocals that sort of entered the fray here. I wanted to express my enjoyment for those. I literally love formant so much. In my own personal music, I throw that like everywhere. I also offer to my clients like, hey, you might want to try adding some formant here and there to spice it up. It's a little difficult to do live. You kind of got to have like a vocal module set up. You got to have like some sort of knob that you can play with live, like maybe on like a little table or something. I think I'm remembering this like Panic at the Disco performance where Brendan Urie had like a bunch of like little pedals to tweak his voice live. There's ways to do it in a live performance, but it's just such a great sound. You can really, like I was mentioning in that video, you can add a lot of nasally sort of sharp qualities by raising the formants up, or you can add a lot of soulful, more open throat sound to your voice by lowering it, like what Twigs is doing right here. That is so pretty. Oh, wow. Oh, now we're doing all kinds of vocal effects here. Wow. Okay. So if I had to break down what just happened, there was a lot of different background vocals coming in as lead vocals. There was a lot of, it sounded like chorus filters. There's a plugin that I use for vocal processing called Vocal Synth 2, and it sounds like there were some types of sounds that's able to do, like CompuVoice. There's also like a bio filter that it has on there. There's all kinds of like little filters happening on the voice to sort of add to the cinematic value of what's happening here, but it's got a very pulsing beat. Like I was mentioning earlier, it's very like trance techno mixed with industrial, mixed with pop. It's got a lot of dark pop sort of atmosphere to it. Twigs's voice kind of reminds me of this one Kanye West song that I like called Wolves off of The Life of Pablo, and Kashmir Cat did some of the production on that song, and I believe they were sampling something. Someone was telling me a while ago, a long time ago when I was really into that song, someone was telling me that the sample on that wasn't a sample, it was like a VST. It was like a choir plugin that they were using to sort of make the very operatic, like angelic sounding falsetto vocals. But that definitely is Twigs' strength on this. I don't know what I was expecting their voice to sound like, but that is most definitely what I'm picking up. There is a lot of soul influence, a lot of modern dance, a lot of modern like EDM, but like a little bit of progressive industrial stuff. That was cool. Hold on. That was cool. Can we talk about how the auto-tune, the retune speed of the auto-tune just sort of like came in? Like it was very low, just kind of let Twigs do her thing in the middle of the mix. And then it just sort of like enveloped the entire lead like vocal track. Like it just kind of came in and then backed back out. Like the auto-tune just decided to enact on its own. I really like that. I like when effects kind of come and go. Sometimes it's a bit monotonous having them there all the time, so it's great to have a lot of variety.
People always told me that I take my love too far, then refuse to help me. I was on the edge of something greater than before, but nobody told me. Eusexua.
Oh, wow. That was a very enjoyable, pretty song right there. So let me talk about my overall thoughts of that one. So again, I loved the build up. I loved the dance beats. I loved how I think both in the Magdalena Bay video and also in Caroline's album video, we talked about contrast and how important it is to sort of maintain that to provide like different, just a different feeling, or just make your sound feel bigger than it actually is. And here we have very soft vocal performances, very soulful, very just melodic, otherworldly, ethereal vocal performances, coupled with a very moody beat, but all the heaviness of the song, all the heavy emotions are felt through the production, all the synths, all the lead synths kind of coming up out of nowhere and doing like a counter melody here and there, or just bumping up and in between each other, kind of going like this, like an orchestra of synths. But what I liked is it didn't sound like there was too many layers there in the production. It sounded like there was just enough. I love that the vocals seem to sit perfectly on the song. I've said that about a couple of things that we've listened to, but this one right here has had like the vocal mix is absolutely perfect. I also wanted to point out at the end right there when things got really distorted, that's a very specific kind of distortion effect called a bit crusher, and it's supposed to make things sound like it's being kind of pushed through. The best sort of metaphor I can give you guys to maybe like make it a little easier to understand is a bit crush distortion pedal or effect VST makes sounds sound like they're coming through a Game Boy like sound chip or something. Like it lowers the bit resolution of it and pushes the drive or pushes the gain through the audio sample. So it brick walls it while removing some of the bits, almost giving it a very lo-fi, rough kind of sound. So let's move on from that. Let's go to track 2, Girl Feels Good. I love those little acid synths that I'm hearing between the headphones right there.
I fear the man who finds himself lost
Now we're talking.
in tales of war, delusions of more. Beautiful boys, I wish you knew how precious you are.
Nobody warned me. Nobody told me how infectiously electronic this album was going to sound. Now I'm like even more excited. I was excited to check this out just because of the mystery. I literally had no idea what Twigs sounded like. I believe I heard her on, I think there was a Skrillex song with Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign called Ego Death. But I literally, other than that, had never checked out her music before, and I really like just how strange it sounds, how out of this world it sounds.
Your mother's sister's lover's heart is where there's
Okay, now we get some clean guitars coming in. It's an electric guitar. It's not an acoustic guitar. It's just running through a clean setting, so it sounds very soft. It has very minimal gain put on it. Do you guys even understand why I've just got this crazy grin on my face right now? That this is such an interesting throwback. So this song right here is very like if you took Massive Attack, sandwiched it with like a couple albums from Nine Inch Nails, and then had a pop R&B soul singer like crooning over it. Because even the guitar work, now that I'm hearing it, it sounds like something off of Downward Spiral. I did not expect this to be electro industrial, got like a little bit of breakbeat in there, a little bit of trip hop. What an interesting sort of like blend of sounds that we have here, and nobody ever throws back to those sounds. I feel like even in some of the songs I've broken down here for you guys on this channel, we talk a lot about 80s and 70s and 90s throwbacks, but those are usually like synth pop, or it's usually oldies, or it's usually classic rock, or stuff like that. Here we have like all kinds of stuff from the 90s, most importantly, maybe late 80s, like 1989. But it's a lot of just gritty, industrial, yet pop sensible song structure here. I'm so excited to keep going. Like that. So the drums are running through definitely a very heavy compressor setting, has a little bit of crispy saturation on the bus, but most importantly, they're doing something to add that modern like electronic glitch to it. And there's also some like acid synth happening in the background, very Chemical Brothers. That was another artist that came to mind. So before I process what's going on in the beat, I almost feel like it's criminal to take some of the best sounds from just this very gritty genre. And I'm talking about mostly like trip hop or industrial rock or industrial just in general, electro industrial, even whatever you want to label it as. It's so criminal to take those very eclectic, like gritty niche sounds and then just effortlessly sing a very pop, soulful sort of melody over it. And it works. It works. It worked for some of those Mag Bass songs. It's working here. I'm really liking the bass harmonies too. That's one thing I'm not giving enough credit here. I'm mostly talking about the synth, drum, and vocal business and the guitars. The bass is finding its way between all of these different instruments, doing all of these different notes. It's going up like the roots of the chords effortlessly.
It makes the world go round when the night feels young. You know she feels pretty, a girl feels good. And the world goes round, turn your love up, allowed to keep the devil down. When a girl feels good, you know feels good. The lonely piece to the flower. When a girl feels good, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. We have some like Daft Punk, Derez, like Tron, Vocoder. So that's another thing that's interesting. So these feel like callbacks, right? Kind of like what we said in some other albums. They feel like callbacks. They feel like they're taking some of the best things from some music that we probably hold really dear, or that some of us have probably heard in passing or on the internet somewhere, just through like, oh yeah, this is like the archetype of this genre or whatever. You're hearing that, but then you're also hearing modern takes on it. Like back in the 90s, at least when they were making stuff like this, autotune wasn't as prevalent. Vocoders were being used, but they weren't as like widely accepted as like good vocal performances. So hearing some of these more modern uses of vocal mixing and vocal arrangement over an old throwback style, but it's like cleanly mixed because we're using modern engineers and we're using modern drum samples, is really, really, really refreshing. I love that. Even so, I could listen to either the instrumental or the acapella of that all day. That was such a great funk. It was kind of cool, right? Going from track one that had a very big like dance break, more techno, more house kind of feel, to going to this where it has more of like a breakbeat funk kind of feel to it. And so far what I like is it feels very influenced by Nine Inch Nails and some of those bands that I mentioned earlier. It feels very like that is kind of the core essence or like the spirit of what Twigs is doing on here. And I want you guys to let me know in the comments, does her other music also sound like this, or is this album kind of a stylistic change, or is this sort of like a different sound that she's choosing to pursue on this album? Because I really like almost how held back some of it is. Like the lyrics aren't up in your face, the vocal performances aren't up in your face. Everything has a very smooth mix. I was even trying to point out some of the things that were happening earlier, like in the refrain and some of the more cool down moments when the backing vocals started to come forward a bit more. I almost like had a hard time doing that because I'm just so like lost in it. I'm lost in all these melodies. And then some of it just felt like she was letting the instruments sort of just come through and breathe for a while, kind of let the band have their moment, so to speak, or the producer, if it's a more production heavy type of sound set. Let's go straight into track 3, Perfect Stranger.
Don't know the name of the town you're from.
Okay.
Your star sign or the school you failed. I don't know and I don't care.
All right, so we have Ear Candy, we have things happening. So the beginning was almost like a metal, like a heavy metal bass, like a gent, like dun 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 kind of thing, and then it went into a electro pop bass, like it was just like boom boom boom. So that was an interesting shift. I bet you that the scary metal bass is coming later. But yeah, that was an interesting sort of transition because we went from something that was supposedly going to be pretty heavy or pretty like out there into something more comfortable that I would have probably expected from an artist like this. And another thing I really liked were those really sped up vocal samples that sort of led us into this next section we're going to be hearing.
What's your favorite now? You work or what you working around? I don't know and I don't care. And that's okay with me.
That's so cool.
Live my life with some mystery. Please don't say that I must know.
Who is back there playing those vocal samples? Obviously, it's a production. It's not a live band, but you never know. So I like to ask. That is very creative. I like how in the middle they are. They're not taking up a lot of low frequencies, so they're giving Twigs perfect amount of sort of spatial frequency spectrum for her voice, and they're coming in like an instrument. So it's almost like she's done singing and they're coming in to do the call and response. And a call and response is sort of like when one thing's done performing, another thing will come to take its place. For example, someone hits a note on a piano and someone sings that note right after it. That would also be an example of a call and response. Two musical elements that play off of each other.
And that's alright, I say. We're all getting through this our own way.
I love those vocal layers.
We can make it work, but we don't know. We'll never hurt. It's you're strange, you're perfect. You're strange, you're perfect.
That was a really cool break. So we had like how do I even like explain this? I'm gonna have to listen to it again. Hold up. What I liked is, so you know how we were mentioning different rhythm styles earlier. So we were talking about like the really dark, like electronic pop, industrial pop, dark pop thing, trance techno thing happening in track 1, and then in 2 we were talking about more of the breakbeat, Massive Attack, Chemical Brothers kind of funk thing happening. This felt like two-step garage, and then it just went down with like a sub bass drop into like a dubstep-y sort of thing. And now we're probably going to go back into the electro pop, but we have a lot of different sort of styles and like beat things that Twigs is sort of like picking and choosing. Like, I want this song to be a this song. I want this song to be a this song. And We love variety.
You perfect me, my perfect stranger. You're beautiful, you're worth it, you're the best, and you deserve it. You're a stranger, so you're perfect. You're a stranger, so you're perfect. I love the danger.
Oh,
You're the perfect stranger. I don't know your friends or your ex.
I like that. So the vocal stutter happening there, that seems to be a staple at this point, because I think in all 3 songs so far we have those vocal stutters, and it sounds like what Twigs is doing is she's sort of using her like fry register when it comes to singing, and just going like and having the producer sort of cut that up and make like a very rhythmic glitchy chop that can sort of just be reused and sort of put into the like nooks and crannies of the beat type of thing. I also wanted to call attention to how satisfying that bass pluck is. So when you make sounds, sometimes you'll have like you can either make very long sounds with lots of decay and lots of sustain in the envelopes, or you can make short sounds with less and that have like a low attack. That way they just like hit. They don't take a lot of time to sort of happen, kind of like a synth pad. But this is a bass pluck, so it's got to have a really like fast attack. It's got to happen like, you know, immediately. So it sounds to me like there's that going on. And just to make it not sound like just a normal like boring keyboard, they're sampling noises in the synthesizer. Like I personally like to use Serum 2 for a lot of my production work and a lot of like making sounds for my clients and stuff. And one of the capabilities of Serum is you're able to use wavetables as like the main part of the sound that you're designing, which are just normal like synth sounds that come in like every keyboard. But you have like a whole other compartment you can open up in Serum 2 that allows you to resample noises. So it sounds like they took like a snap, or they took like a little like pen click or something and put that in there so that it can be on top of the sound as they're playing it with the keyboard at the same time.
Please don't say so, I won't know.
Oh, there's that vocal chop.
Don't say I don't wanna know you all tonight. Oh, we can make it work, but we don't know. We'll never hurt us, you're strangers.
That sub drop that we were talking about earlier, what I like about it is it doesn't just drop and then it's forgotten about. It almost has a rhythm of its own. It's like or like it's being triggered a couple of times. We're picking up. So what this sounds like to me, this is what I like to call song explosions. People can just, you can call them post-choruses, really, but I like to call them song explosions. So it's when the song like drastically changes towards the end of its duration, and a lot of sounds that were played periodically through the song or variations of them, so like the vocal chops or like the little lead synths or some of the bass lines that have maybe been wanting to be used in this song, are all coming to the fold right now. They're all being used as one big dramatic finale. You call them song explosions. That's just my term for it. What I like so far about this sound, and again, I'm so ignorant. I have never listened to a Twigs project before, so please correct me if this is a sound that she chases often. What I really like about it is it's pop sensible. Like her songs can probably be played on radio or played with other alternative pop artists. But what I really like about it is there's a lot of risks being taken. Even that like distorted like radio filter on the voice towards the end there is a risk because it's such a weird abnormal sound, but it happens very briefly. It's not like a mainstay. It doesn't just completely drone out the song and make it like extra or anything. It's literally like all these neat little pockets that are like precisely chosen for certain noises. Even in that last drop, what was cool is the song was an eventual build up and pickup into that last drop. It wasn't like just kind of thrown there to be extra, or it wasn't just thrown there just for a very long period of time just to sort of be there. Let's move on to track 4, Drums of Death, featuring Corliss. I have no idea who that is. I'm going to peek really quick. Okay. So they are an overall music person. Let's just dive right in and enjoy the listen. Why do I have I have a prediction? Okay, and we're gonna see if I'm right. I feel like these are the drums of death. They just haven't killed us yet. I feel like they're right now. They're in their like first evolutionary form, and over the course of the song, they're just gonna pull 100 gecs or something and just get like bigger and wider. Okay, nice fill. Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. I get the vision. The drums are going to kill us by their fantastic processing that's happening. So there's like these plugins you can get when it comes to producing where you can assign different macros or assign different effects to like different pads or different knobs of your MIDI controller, and you can make it so that they repeat. And it allows you to kind of perform what we just heard more rhythmically instead of like having to like actually take your mouse, go in there and like cut everything up and like arrange it a certain way manually with your hands. And I think a good example of this is Tractors. I think Tractors, it allows you to kind of do that. It's usually for DJs or like DJ controller type stuff. All programmable. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And I feel like they're having this drum loop just play and then just going and trying to destroy the drums of death, I guess. Oh. See, I'm over here pausing and I'm missing out on just how intricate that was. We had like a reverse sample go back. Let's listen again. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. The inner like dubstep industrial bass music child inside of me just wants to go blare that at 200 dB out of some like big jackhammer sub just to feel the vibrations. That was so cool. So what I loved about that is, so we kind of had the drums do their thing for like 30 seconds. And then we kind of had all these like rhythmic vocal chops come through, and they're also being played on like a sampler pad. They're being like cut and rearranged. And it feels like in a live space, it feels like it's all being done like as a performance. It's all just this big industrial, just crazy rhythmic jam. Can someone in the comments let me know if Twigs is a producer herself, if she has any sort of a hand in that sort of part of the process, or is this sort of like the producer kind of getting their own track, kind of like a cure for the itch? Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. We need to talk about this. I don't care. You guys don't like when I pause, but I'm pausing. So, yeah. How do I even begin to like talk about that? It's like her vocals are being buried, but I'm completely fine with that because I'm just being barraged by these crazy glitchy vocal chops. Yeah, some of them are like being pitched up and some of them are being like brought over and panned. Oh yeah.
Feel hot, feel hot, feel heavy. You want baby girl to reach us.
Nice vocoder. I've had more time to listen to it, so it's all eighth notes. Like it's all like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. No wait, it's all 16 notes, so it's like 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. But the rhythm is changing samples, so it's going between like 3 or 4 different parts of a vocal chop, and the little like fast, like high pitched parts are probably literally just a little part of one of those copied over, doubled. So that would be a bunch of 32 notes, and pitched up by 12 semitones. Oh, the dissonance right there was so good. There's our pop element. Oh, I love how like thick that bass sounded. No, we don't get a transition. Yes, we don't. Okay. That was an amazing track. I've said all I could about that song. It was just great. Let's go into track 5, Room of Fools. I feel like I'm being toyed with, guys. Come on, hold on. So I feel like at this point in the video, Twigs is just giving me sounds, or just putting sounds in the song to give me things to talk about at this point. So that sounds like if let's say you're doing an arpeggiator on a synth. So what an arpeggiator is it's a tool. It's like a little mechanic or a little setting you can enable on either your MIDI controller or internally on your software while you're performing. It makes it so that notes happen in rapid succession, but then at the same time we have some sort of envelope LFO modulation thing happening to the pitch of the synth. So it's going up and it's going down in pitch, not in terms of the notes being played. The notes being played are the same. The only thing that is changing is the pitch modulation. It's going up and it's going down, almost kind of like when you run your finger across a comb. If you were to amplify that, or if you were to like run it through an amplifier or some sort of like thing to sort of boost the sound happening there, it's the same thing. You're going from lower to higher, higher to lower. Very growly bass. Okay, we're back to that high like industrial techno stuff. There's our pitch spread. That synth bass is killer, man. Oh, it's so high energy. That was cool. Wow. I feel like these two worlds can't coexist. We have like a very pop, very like happy, bouncy sort of like house chord progression, and then just this driving like 9 Inch Nails bass like right under it, just going. Okay. I like that the background vocals have what's called a low pass filter on them. Not a ton of low pass, just like a little bit of like low pass high cut kind of happening on there. And what that's doing is that makes it sound like her background vocals are like underwater or just a bit like overwhelmed by all the noise happening around it. But again, just a hair of it, just a little bit of it, and it's just chef's kiss. There's that frustrated vocal. Oh, I love it. Is anybody else getting like Aphex Twin from this a little bit? Not a lot of Aphex Twin, but just a little, just a little tiny bit of selected ambient works happening here. I love that yodel. Those are those classic house chords back there. What's the bass doing down there? Sounds like Bjork a little bit. I feel like right there at the end we got a taste of just that weird thing, that like strange sort of 90s Bjork Enigma type music that we were talking about in the last First Listen Friday. Yeah, that was a good song. Let's move on to track 6, Sticky. The song is about honey. Let's keep going.
I'm tired of messing up my life with overcomplicated moments and sticky situations. I tried to fuck it with the lights on in the hope you'd think I'm open and have a conversation.
I love how emotional Twigs' vocals sound here, and I also really like not only the stark contrast between how the song sounds so far and the rest of the album, the mixing that is being done on her voice. It's sort of giving it this very wide, like pan kind of sound. And this could have just been done with one vocal and just sort of copied and pasted around, or it could have been done with like a triple take and brought the volumes down on the second and third take with choruses on them. That's a great way to sort of like loosen up and make the vocal feel very wide. Ooh.
I'm tired of messing up my life.
There's things to talk about before we move on to this next section. We have like a very like pluck heavy synth. But it's quiet. It doesn't sound very synthy. It sounds like it's actually a more organic kind of mallet sound. And then you also have these like Bonnie Varick like vocal chop sample things kind of happening in the background. Those are really interesting to hear.
With overcomplicated moments and sticky situations.
Ooh. I like that lo-fi clap back there.
Hold it in my body, little snakes inside a bottle, writhing in my frustrations.
Oh.
But it hurts so bad to share my skin with you watching. You know, it makes me shy. Count to 1, 2, 3 and show my vulnerability. Come on, say something nice to me.
That right there was so cool. I love how the lyrics are talking about a lot of insecurity and a lot of vulnerability and having trouble with that and things like intimacy and stuff like that. And I love that the beat feels very held back, feels very reserved with certain percussion instruments and certain like sounds and sound design heavy elements sort of coming into the fold very slowly, very just sliding into the mix like effortlessly. And then we have a break and we have these like little vocal chop things that are being sort of rhythmically played. But I love the rhythm that's being played there. I think it reminds me of Dulcite by Porter Robinson, where it sort of becomes like the main pivot, the main like pillar that's kind of holding the song up right there. I hope this kind of becomes the foundation and the rest of the song gets kind of built around it as we reach its climax here. A moment there, man. I could cry right now. The vocal chop arrangement that just came in at the moment I hit the space bar. I want you guys to understand something. One of the main sounds that made me like want to like start producing or made me like really start to kind of pursue this passion like around like middle school, like early high school, was I heard a vocal chop for the first time and I was like, what is that? Because it didn't sound like human singing. It was very artificial, but I could tell that it was crafted. It was like carefully made. It was processed very carefully. It was performed very carefully with like decision making. Like you have to decide, okay, where am I going to put this? Where is it going to belong in the mix? And now I know that information. Before I just thought it sounded so special. It sounded so different. And I don't know, in the modern age of music, I've heard so many vocal chops, like especially in like commercial EDM or like even just dance music that I've heard throughout my whole life. Even in pop music, I mean, it's just a staple now. Like vocal chops have become just kind of a usual thing in production beds, even in rock and metal music or indie music. It's in the background, but it's oftentimes used there as like part of the vocal bed. That was cool because it felt like we had a whole band of different vocal chops playing the different parts. You had the one in the mid section, you had the one in the high, like sort of lead section, and you had one almost being used as a bass. Like that was like, 5 layers of vocal chops all being used as like a band. That was one of the most special treatments of vocal chops I've heard in a minute. And I think the only other case that might have given me is I think on one of the Lorde albums, I think we had a similar experience, or maybe it was on Desire I Want to Turn Into You. One of these albums that we've listened to, I remember having a similar response. Maybe it was, it was Charlie. It was Charlie. It was on the Charlie album. But I loved that. That felt like such a special moment. I kind of didn't like that it got interrupted by the big, like, noisy static, but I get it. It felt so ominously, ethereally cool. Like, it just felt awesome. Definitely intuitive, definitely creative. Again, I haven't listened to a whole lot, like I haven't listened to any FKA Twigs, so I don't know if this is a mainstay of her sound, but regardless, it's pretty cool. Track 7, Keep It, Hold It. Like these little lo-fi like Game Boy samples.
Live alone in disarray. I read 1,000,000 people gotta feel this way. What have I gotta do? Just keep it walking, hold it close. And what have I gotta say? Just keep it moving, hold
Wow. Okay. We had almost what sounded like indie electronic or like indie pop at the beginning, just very low key kind of sound. And I thought that was going to persist, but I almost loved the dynamic shift of that coming to a halt and then all these like soul vocal stacks coming forth and sort of taking their place in the pan. Keep it walking, keep it hold it. I love that. I love that. It very much represents like someone's like internal thoughts, and I think that's what it's supposed to represent here.
Just keep it softly, hold it close. What have I gotta do? Just keep on walking.
Oh,
Keep it
that's so epic sounding.
Keep it and hold it, yeah. This big of me, no, I'm not in the room.
What instrument is that? It sounds very world instrument, like almost like a very big, rich dulcimer or like a harp.
They say I mess up way more than I do. I often look at windows for escape. To be safe, to be safe. I read a million people gotta feel this way. What have I gotta do? Just keep it walking, hold it close. And what have I gotta say? Just keep it moving, hold it close.
You know what I really love about the rhythm section right here? We're going to talk about rhythm because that's like the main thing that's sort of guiding this song right now. So there were no drums. There were no drums in this song whatsoever. It was all led by that pulsing like vocal thing, and also Twigs' sort of like monologue happening with the lead vocal. The drums are very subtle. It's just a kick right now, but it's like hitting the main beat and then boom, 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 waiting for a while and then coming back. Boom, boom. And what that does is it kind of leaves us in suspense, right? It makes us want that to come back, because that's what I was thinking. It was like, oh, bring that back. Bring back that low bass and that like kick drum right there. Just bring it back. And it plays kind of a psychological effect on the listener, introducing a very catchy element like that, like just a bump in like rhythm, and then stopping it and then waiting another bar to bring it back. It's a very, very unique strategy for building rhythm sections.
Softly hold it close. What have I gotta do? Just keep on.
So cinematic with that world instrument right there. Oh, it's pretty.
What have I gotta do?
Hold on. You guys heard that, right? You heard that synth harp coming in. That. I hope they bring it back. Oh.
Times I feel like I'm not even trying.
Okay. We're going right into the beat.
Times I feel miles away.
That's cool. So the lyrics right there, I mean, I'm caught up in the dance break, right? But the lyrics right there say the same thing that was happening in that like sort of soulful like vocal stack thing. She was like, I just gotta keep it, hold it. I just gotta keep it, hold it. And it's just like a nice dramatic conclusion to that whole entire moment right there leading up to that. Wow.
Moving, keep it moving, hold it close. What have I gotta do? Just keep it softly, hold it close. What have I gotta say? Just keep walking, just keep it and hold it, just keep it and hold it.
That like trumpet or trombone coming in right there and tremolo panning through the mix. That does it for me. I remember there was a song I produced like a long time ago. Like this was back during like COVID. So 2020, 2021. And I think I was doing like drum and bass or something. And I was like, something is just missing in my midsection. Something just needs to happen there. And I don't know what it is. And it was kind of like a breakdown section. So kind of like what you guys are hearing here. So it's kind of weird. I'm getting like flashbacks to it. Right. But I remember thinking there's just something I got to add there. And I tried synths. I tried adding some guitars to it. I tried adding more synths. I tried adding vocal chops, and just something wasn't hitting. And I was like, I want it to feel just moody. Like I want it to, and just feel different from the rest of the song. And I don't want to just put another like bass drop there just for making a bass drop. It was like an EDM, like drum and bass song, right? And I was like, screw it. I'm going to put like saxophones in there. So I played like a very low like saxophone patch, and I was like, yeah, it's not quite there. And then I added like a like full section brass to it, and I was like, okay, I like where this is going, but now I need to like blend it. So I sunk it into the mix, added just a bunch of distortion to it and a bunch of reverb, and what it did is it made this very powerful sound, but it was far away and it was blended deep within my mix, so it sounded like it belonged there. And I think that is exactly the same purpose that ironically this horn instrument is serving here. And I know that sounds nerdy, right? Like I'm just over here obsessing over just one little sound, but sometimes that's all it takes. Like imagine if that wasn't there, that just kind of droning back there going between the headphones, it'd feel like it needed something, right? So sometimes you need just these little small moments to really make the song feel full and everything to sort of get glued together and feel important.
What have I gotta learn?
So I don't know how I feel about that strange sort of acapella leading the song out. I was kind of hoping it would just like nicely fade away into obscurity, but I did really like that song. I thought it had a lot of nice experimentation and so many dynamic shifts. I think we went through like 3 or 4 of them where it feels like you're kind of listening to a different song, but it's the same song. Like it just shifts the dynamics so much. That it essentially just kind of sometimes even gets like a tempo change or gets a key change. I couldn't even tell you if we had any there because it just felt smooth. It felt like everything belonged where it belonged, and there was a lot of experimentation. So well done, Twigs. Well done, team. Let's see who's even like producing this stuff. Why does G Dragon have a writing credit on Drums of Death? That's so random. Can someone like educate me on that? Like that is so random. Let's move on to 8, Childlike Things, featuring Northwest. Featuring Northwest? Okay, let's listen. Get your dancing boots on, people. Okay. Things are moving so fast, guys. Hold on. Happening? Wait, like I got questions. So, is this like, yeah, are we getting like island vibes here? Are we going clubbing? Like what is what's the vibe here? I also like just kind of the carefree sort of like innocent like just vocal. It sounds like just like you're singing on your way to like school type of thing or whatever. I'm trying to understand the direction of this song. Like it's just this fun like big loud like banger. Konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Nosu-chan. Yes, oh, so is Northwest doing like the big loud vocals? Because I think that's Twigs doing like the build up like hooks. Maybe someone can help me with that one. Lost in a world of childlike things and tragedy. I I do really like that bass coming in here, and we're hearing those signature Twigs like stutter vocals coming in too. One last one, people. Let's go. Okay, hold on. I got this is gonna be a little weird and a little off, but I'm gonna put it in the video anyways. If anyone out there like plays Overwatch or something, you know the character Winston. Well, his like dance would go perfectly to this. So I kind of liked how just like whatever that song was, but it left me with more questions than answers. Why are we talking about Japan? Why are we talking about like Tokyo? I felt like it was just all over the place, but it had like such simplistic layering to it. Like the beat itself wasn't really that complicated. And I guess it's kind of nice to have a little just innocent like break after all that just serious, crazy, wild, emotional like stuff that we've had for like 7 tracks on here. Let's move on to track 9, Striptease. Ooh, I'm liking those pads. Yeah, those are really cool. Oh. Are we running the trap? Is that how this is going? Like, do you guys hear how thick that 808 is? A little blip synth kind of acting as the third of the beat, and the 808's hitting on the first. So I'm hoping for trap beats. I love me a good trap beat.
I've got a birthmark on my mind. I think I like it. Hush my spine and just to show.
Yeah, there we go. So I have a question, FKA TWIGS fans that are watching this video, I have a question for you all. So out of all the songs so far on this album, you can even wait to comment till after the video, but out of all the songs that are on this album, which one would accurately describe the rest of Twigs' sounds across all of her albums? Like, which song best describes what she does? Or is she just a chameleon? Does she just do like everything? I love how airy that is. I want to point out something cool that's happening in specifically the vocal bed of this song. So what I'm hearing happening is we have 2 layers doing the same thing. So let's say Twigs recorded that whole vocal thing we just heard. That's chilling on its own layer, which is EQ, compression, and maybe just a hair of reverb. Now, the duplicate of that is on a different track right below it, and what they're doing to make it not sound strange or not sound doubled is they're adding echo to it and then a bunch of reverb. Like the wet knob on the reverb is cranked up to make it big and spacious and just like almost overwhelming, and then reducing the volume of it. Because what that'll do is make it sound big but not overwhelming. It doesn't just completely overload the main vocal that's happening. It's just sitting under it. And it makes it sound spacious without the main vocal sounding drowned out. Because right now the main vocal sounds clear. It sounds crisp. We can hear every lyric. We can hear every word. We can hear every note perfectly fine. But it still sounds big and spacious. And the way that they do that is by running 2 layers. But on the second one, the dry knob is down. So it's all echoes and reverbs on that. That way all the other like instruments being panned or sent over to the reverb bus don't get messed up. TLDR, they did a really cool thing with the thing and made it so that one vocal layer is dry and the other is wet and full of effects. Feels like a striptease, abandoning me. Feels like a striptease, sick for my tears, and loose for my fears. I'm stripping my heart, all my pain disappears, opening me. Oh. Feels like a striptease. That falsetto was so good. Watch me flow, lost in my striptease. Watch me flow. 2 things. So I love how seamless, like always, like we've heard on the rest of this album, I love how seamless and how in the pocket Twigs's voice sounds on these songs. It sounds like it just belongs there. Even when she changes up her technique, again, the way it's mixed with the way that she is performing these parts, just sounds like it's meant to be there. It's meant to just sit there and hang out with the rest of the instruments. I also really like just how electric the instrumentation is. We have these like EDM synths just coming out of nowhere. I remember a point in like production and listening to like dance music and stuff. I didn't think that sounds like this would be as like acceptable. And I don't even want to call this like super mainstream music either, right? This is more like alternative pop, experimental pop, but it just sounds like it belongs in a dance environment, but the structure is very pop. It's very dance pop. And I just love the way that it's all packaged. It's so nice.
Line is getting late. I feel alive. I wanna show you I've got to birth my mind, and just to show the tears lies is on me.
I want to hear that chorus again.
You want it right, I never mind. Feels like a striptease, opening me. Feels like a striptease, opening me. Feels like a striptease.
I love when singers do this thing where they change the way that they sing a part very subtly, right? Because if you were just listening to this passively in the background, you almost wouldn't pick up on it. Maybe you would. But the note like just glides up ever so slightly differently than the other one and then proceeds to transition us into the next part. And the reason why it didn't happen before is because we were going straight into a refrain. This sounds like we're going into a pre-chorus, this sounds like we're going into a post-chorus or a bridge of sorts.
Watch me flow, lost in the striptease.
Love those vocal stutters. Keep them coming. They sound like they're going through a gate. I knew that was coming. I knew it. I didn't want to say anything, but I knew a beat switch was happening. So that was genius, and I'm going to explain why. So the vocal's running through a gate right now, and what that does is it sort of cuts it off as a speed, kind of like what we were talking about earlier with an arpeggiator. It's the same thing, but for running processing of like actual samples or actual pieces of audio. So vocals are a good candidate for doing this with. You can also hear it on some like guitar pedals, like you can use like a tremolo gate or something like that on a guitar. But this sounds like on the gate, it was going, it was going really fast. It was at like a 16th note. It was going, and then it slowed down to, it started going down to eighths. And then what happened was the pitch lowered to sort of distract us while the BPM was changing. And so now that the BPM has changed, we went from trap tempo, which is what usually like 120 to 140. And now we're at like jungle breakbeat tempo, which is probably 170, 174, 175. Oh yeah. I mentioned this before, guys, with the Caroline album. I love me some good jungle and good drum and bass. Yes. It's not over. As a music producer who grew up producing and learning how to produce EDM and all the various subgenres of EDM, and that just kind of being like my sort of happy place when it comes to music, just in general, like I just have such a soft spot for it. It is so validating to hear those sounds still being used in the year 2025, like to still hear drum and bass, jungle, breakbeat, even like chill trap. I think I heard hard wave in there a little bit, like in some of the synths I heard a little bit of hard wave. FKA Twigs has done a fantastic job of making these sounds feel very refreshing and very fitting to her voice. Fantastic. Let's go right into track 10, 24-Hour Dog. It looks like we're nearing the end of our experience here. We're going to have just 2 tracks left. If you're still watching, thank you for sticking around this long. Let's go right into track 10 here. Ooh. Loving the sign synth right there. Okay. Lo-fi textures. Got that little high synth coming in too. You hear that? Oh, that is so nice.
1, 2, what you want me to? 3, 4, anything you wish for. I'm a slave to your design, so work me to satisfy the core of your mind. Right, so what you want me do? You love chores, distract me from my worst flaws. Setting free the softest part of me gets dangerous sometimes. Still got it, that is getting me high.
Whoa, okay. So this reminds me, all the textures and all the little EDM sort of like, you know, granular high textures happening right there, and all of the like little synth evolutions that we're hearing sort of go with the vocals. Reminds me of Flume. It reminds me of Skin era Flume, maybe a little past that, maybe some of the in-between albums between that and Palaces. If there's any Flume fans out there, to my knowledge, Flume has not worked with FKA Twigs. I think she would be a very good candidate for a feature on one of his songs. And please, I've been like not the best Flume fan for the last few album cycles. Let me know if they've worked together on anything, because I think her sound right now would sound so good on that. Like, yeah, absolutely shining with these processed auto-tune vocals with the chorus effect on there. It sounds like silk on this beat. It works so good so far. I'm excited to see how this drops down. But yeah, let me know if they even have any interest in working with each other.
When I submit to you this way, I'm a dog for
Oh, that bass.
It's true, I'm just as way for you. I bend more than what I thought was possible. Me in shapes that make you please.
Unreal. I'm at a point with this mix where I can't tell what's percussion, what's bass. What I think is happening is we're having the synth sort of evolve. So like the synth stack is slowly expanding with each sort of vocal passage here as Twigs is sort of adding more vocal layers to the fold. But we have like these sort of synths going under the granular textures, just slowly rising up with it. It's a very slow build. You have to be very patient with it. But that's what's happening is it's a lot of synths, it's a lot of textures, it's a lot of percussion, and it's just slowly building. I'm such a sucker for it, man. Understand. I'm really trying to drive it home that just the EDM atmospheric nostalgia. And when I say EDM, I don't just mean like Calvin Harris, like Avicii, like top 40 type EDM. I mostly mean just the overall aesthetic of just a big atmosphere, big breaks, big melodic passes, potential buildups and drops to happen. But that's what I'm talking about. Just these big atmospheric moments. I literally live for it. And I mean, even on that Charlie album, we heard it a bunch. On here, we're getting a ton of it, but it's so like differently packaged. We almost get like a different side of it. This is very cool and icy and like methodically like put out. Like, I don't know. It feels like very special moments put together to music and produced with just the right amount. Like, I mean, yeah. I don't know, guys. Like, I'm stunned by the amount of atmosphere that's on this album. It's not what I expected at all. Like, it really isn't. Oh, nice job. Nice job. Got those vocal chops coming in on the pan. This is one of those song explosions, guys. This is it. Spectacular. Oh, that was so awesome. Wow. Oh, that was amazing. Okay, that has to be my favorite build-up on the album. Just my favorite, like, overall, like, atmosphere. That just felt so huge and so, like, well thought out. And especially that, like, pitch shifting hi-hat thing coming down there. Like, it was like a helicopter of just, like, pitch shifting, frequency shifting hi-hats. Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. I want to just dive right into this last track here called Wanderlust. And I'm hoping that it just ties up. I say this all the time. I'm hoping the last track just ties everything up in a nice, neat little bow. Again, we've gone through all kinds of emotions and all kinds of sounds on this album. Let's go out with a bang.
I hate the cost, the aesthetic's crazy. Album's way too long though. I make it just the same, but with all the lyrics gone. I get violent in a rage when I'm sad alone. I can criticize the world when I'm sad at home. In bed, no makeup on my face, filter covered up my lows. If I don't wake up Monday morning, I'll make it up to you, babe. If I don't wake up Monday morning, I'll make it up to you, baby. See.
Oh, so nice.
When I'm here, but I'm lost in the pure wanderlust. Hold tight when the sky's not enough. Give me pure wanderlust.
Okay, so going, I don't even know how to, I feel bad even like pausing that because I love that this is a ballad. It's slower, it's more relaxed, but the vocals are absolutely dominating the mix. They're coming over those midsections, and Twigs goes from just a more sort of like low, like as if like I'm talking to you kind of singing voice, like very low chest voice, straight into just up there, you know, like just up there, just soaring upper like chest, nearing the head voice, kind of the mix, just up there. And then it just transitions into a big vibrato. Unexpectedly, I thought it was just going to be more straight singing.
I see.
Okay.
in motion.
So the auto-tune has been cranked up for aesthetic purposes on this verse coming up here. And then I love that we're sort of washing in these reverse guitars and reverse like organ keyboard parts. Very creative. And it definitely makes this verse feel a lot more like special instead of just straight like just playing the guitar and singing type of thing.
Music's in motion. Misplaced emotion.
Oh, yeah.
I get violent and enraged when I'm sad alone.
Nice.
I can criticize the world when I'm sad at home. In bed. If I don't wake up Monday morning.
Hear that formant below everything?
You, babe.
Wow.
Wake up Monday morning. I'll make it up to you, babe. See me when I'm here, but I'm lost in the pure wanderlust. Hold tight.
Brilliant.
When the sky's not enough, give me pure wanderlust.
Please build into this awesome dance break. Yes, please.
To be the higher times. You've one life to live, do it freely. It's your choice to break off the leading.
You hear that break in the back?
In my head if you need me.
Chord change?
Right there if you need me. See me when I'm here, but I'm lost in the pure wonderland.
Oh, here comes the formant.
Give me pure wonderland.
More jungle. Let's go. Wow. Okay, guys. That album was an absolute treat. Thank you so much to those of you that recommended that to me for now what has been like weeks. I wish I checked it out earlier. I will be the first to admit that. And I'm just going to be blunt and say I pretty much love the whole thing. I mean there were a couple of moments that, you know, they did feel a little like, okay, yeah, you know, we get it. But for the most part, like, I mean, the album's like a 9.5 out of 10. Like it's a very good album. And I say that from a song, like even the songwriting standpoint. I loved some of the themes on there, from like, you know, moments of insecurity, moments of self-realization. And there was a couple other things I picked up on, but I mean, they're hard for me to sort of articulate right now. But even just the overall mood of the album, like even just from my goo goo gaga-ness of EDM and dance breaks, let's just get that out of the way for a second. Just the overall mood and like the emotional like ups and downs of this album. I mean, it just takes you on such an amazing like journey, like, and it feels very soulful. It feels very like just from deep down. I wasn't really expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, that was just a great album. I loved even some of the ups and downs and the beat switches and just the very versatile voice that Twigs has. I didn't expect that. I really didn't. I'm very floored by this album, and I think there's a lot we can learn from it. You know, contrast is very important. Also, having a very solid artist identity. If this is what the rest of Twigs' discography sounds like, you can count me right in. Even if it doesn't sound like this and it just has little moments of the sounds that I heard in here and the musical ability that I heard in here, I'm down. I'm down to go check it out. I'm down to go listen. Almost want to say like it goes beyond just the instrumentation. Like it's I think artistic identity is important, and I think Twigs has definitely made that known here. And I mean, it's to be celebrated. I really wish I hopped on the Twigs bandwagon when I wanted to. I remember seeing, what was it? Let me just look at her catalog here. I think it was LP1. Yeah, I was in high school when that came out, and I remember seeing it kind of fluctuating around, but I never really gave it a shot. But if I did hop on the bandwagon back then, I wouldn't be making this content for you guys, and we wouldn't have had that experience together. So thank you so much, everyone watching. Thank you so much for everyone who recommended this to me. I hope you gained something from this video, and I hope we all learned and experienced something awesome together. And again, I wanted to mention this one more time before we close out. Don't forget to vote in the weekly poll. I'm going to pop it up again right here. Let your voice be known, and I'm excited to react to something different for you guys next week. We might have another dissection coming up. I haven't decided on the song yet. I might do another community poll for that as well. But again, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me more music to sort of expand my palette with. There is definitely going to be some things that I dive into this album for when it comes to my own work, or when it comes to maybe a dissection. Maybe I might want to sort of make a video on either Striptease or Perfect Stranger, or even Drums of Death. Like, that was just incredible. But thank you for your time, and have a great rest of your day.